everyone, I'm Anushree, and today we are going to view the demonstration of Deploy to Kubernetes in Google Cloud Challenge Lab. In this Challenge Lab, we have to perform 6 tasks. This is the challenge scenario given to you. You are expected to create container images, store the images in a repository, and configure the Jenkins CI/CD pipeline to automate the build for the product. You have to create a Docker image and store in the Docker file. You have to test the created image, then push the image into the container repository. You have to then use the image to create and expose a deployment in Kubernetes. We have to update and push a change to the deployment. And lastly, we have to create a pipeline in Jenkins to deploy a new version of the image when the source code changes. Let's get started with our first task, that is creating a Docker image. Activate your Cloud Shell. First, we have to run the source code that enables the marking of your challenge lab. So copy the command. Now we have to clone the Valerie app source code that is already present in the project. We have to create a Docker file for the app and add the below configurations. So copy the configurations. We have to use the just created Docker file to create an image with the tag version 1. The image exists and we can now move on. In the second task, we have to test the created Docker image. So the container is up and running and visible on port A080. So our second task is done. In the third task, we have to push the Docker image into the container repository. And we have to retag the container with your project ID. Okay, there's slightly a typo. Let's check our progress. So moving on to the fourth task, we have to create and expose a deployment in Kubernetes. Deployment and service files are provided to us to deploy the new container image to the cluster. And the two files are in the given folder. Also need to set some values in the deployment and service files. To change the number of replicas from 1 to 3. You can reopen the file and view the changes. It has been updated. Let's move on and let's first check our progress. Our assessment is completed. I have already increased the replicas from 1 to 3. We have to update the deployment with a new version of the app that we have created. Deployment file, we have to edit the version number of the app. We have to do this for both the front end as well as the back end. So it has been edited, so let's check our progress. Last task, we have to create a pipeline in Jenkins to deploy our app. The instruction given to get your password. Sample code is also provided to connect to Jenkins console. Started. We have to connect to the Jenkins console. We have to kill the running container. So the container is not running and we have confirmed that. So let's proceed with the further steps. So go to web preview and Preview on port 8080 to connect to Jenkins console. Copy the password that was generated initially. The username is admin. Credentials. Jenkins. Global credentials. Credentials. Now select the Google Service account from metadata option. And your project ID is automatically detected. Now click on OK. Go back to the dashboard. Click on New Item. Keep the name same as the admin. And then choose multi-branch pipeline option. And click on OK. Now go to branch sources. Click on Add Source and Git. Project repository, paste the HTTPS clone of your URL of the sample app that you have created. Credentials ID. Select your service account. Scan multi-branch pipeline and click on check periodically and select the interval value as 1 minute. Now click on save. Open the editor. Jenkins file. Place your project with your own project ID. The file. Source and html.co. File. Change the occurrences of green to orange. This will change the color of your heading. Save the changes. Go to the Cloud Shell. Configure the email ID and name of your project. Now add all the changes. The commit message. The system is unable to detect. Enter your email ID and name manually. And now finally push all the changes to the master branch. Your progress. The build is automatically triggered. You'll get a success message, or else you'll have to manually trigger. Assessment is now completed. Go to the banner tab and check whether you have scored the full marks. Congratulations, you have successfully completed Deploy to Kubernetes Challenge Lab.